Hello, everyone, and welcome to my forever world that I've started. I've been streaming this world a bit, and I wanted to just kind of take you through what I've done so far and kind of go through some plans and try to just keep this as a log of plans that I had and if they've come to fruition. I'll probably keep streaming on this world. I think I'll just do videos like this for updates for it. So if you do enjoy and want to see this bee and see if it stays. Okay. Bye, bee. If you do want to see how this world evolves in real time, you can go follow me on Twitch, SethP_11. I have to sneeze. Oh. Okay. Anyways, as you can see, there's not much going on right now so far. We are on day... Where are the days? Oh no. 26. So I haven't spent too much time on this world so far. I think I've streamed about 3.5, 4 hours. And so far we just have this, but I want to go ahead and show you kind of some of the highlights, some of the plans that we've got going on. First off is our lovely mine. We have a wonderful little setup here, but what I do have is a big hole. This is the main thing that I've been working on. I got some plans and I didn't want to get started building too soon because I don't have plans for what I want my house base starter thing to be. So I thought about this idea and I just did it. I want this world to just be based on not me trying to force myself into projects and things. As you can see, go down here. It's quite far, and the plan is to go all the way down to bedrock, and we'll have different stops and things. I've stopped in this cave, got a mine shaft, which is very nice. We've gotten very lucky with much of our spawn here, and I'll show off more of that later, but we've got this mine shaft here, which extends a bit, and then there's another one out there. I think it is two separate ones. I don't think they're connected. But yeah, this was the first thing that I thought of doing whenever I loaded up this world and finished exploring and got settled. The first full hour and a half, maybe two, was just kind of going around the world, seeing what we had around us. We've had a sharp eye. You could see that we've got a village over there. And we also have an abandoned village down here. Got a little farm area. Nothing too crazy about my area. We'll actually turn our render distance up for this little tour. So we'll go check out the abandoned village first. This will not be the first village that I want to work on, because of course I do want to work on revamping these villages a little bit, just making them look a little bit nicer, laying them out a little bit better. I don't want to do like insane builds that are, these massive houses for them. I mainly just want to kind of rebuild for them and upgrade their houses, but still fit the theme of the houses. Maybe update the style, but as you can see, very simple abandoned village. We got a bit of an ocean out here, so we got a lot of stuff to work with here. Could definitely be a port city. And I also like to establish some fun lore things. This world seed kind of does that on its own for us, because we see this abandoned city here, and if we go further up the mountain into this cherry grove, then you will see, but you'll see that we have a village over here that is very populated. It's higher grounds, a bit more intense terrain up here. We got a very large opening down here. And then there's one other thing that I want to show you that kind of helps with building the lore in this video, and it's this villager or pillager tower over here. And it's just set up right across this little riverside into the ocean. And it's just a perfect little lookout spot into this village, just sitting over there quite menacingly. And it kind of leads to show like why this other village got abandoned, and then maybe this pillager tower, like the abandoned village got pillaged, and so they set up higher up where they could be defended a little bit. And so there's a lot of fun lore stuff that we can do and go back and forth with this generation. These guys have gotten themselves locked down in there. Yeah, this is kind of the main area where I want to work within right now. There's all these, like you can see, I've got torches around here. Oh, he's over there. all sorts of different openings and things. And I think I want to make some sort of dwarven, like, mining community down in here, like have it coming across and all that fun stuff. Could have some cool bridges and things coming across, and just a lot of things I want to do with this village in particular. I have an idea for my own base area, because I would like to build up a little town. Maybe I might do more of like a base, like a compound sort of deal. Not, you know, military compound, but just like a collection of buildings, but it's not a town or anything. So the main thing that I want to do is, you know, we're in this world, we're helping out these other villages and things, we're exploring a lot, so I want some sort of observatory, which I know is typically for large telescopes for looking at the sky and stuff, but I think we could also find some way to make it to where it's like a research center of sorts. You know, you have maybe a large museum. That might be a better way to do it, and just go out and explore and have all this lore about this village and why they moved over to here and current conflict with the pillagers. But this is not our world spawn. It's actually a few hundred blocks this way. So I wanted to grab a boat, and so you can see we've got, I'm sure you can see, we've got some ocean over there indicated by the, what's that, seaweed? No, kelp. That's what it is. So we've got ocean back there, and then over here is more river area, which the sea just continues to contributing to the lore of the world more than I am, really. I'm just making things up based on what the world is giving me. But the world itself is just generated very well, which is why I love the 1.18 updates. There was, I think it was last night's stream where I was just gushing about the Caves and Cliffs updates, where it just adds so much to the world and all the smaller updates. So if you want to hear me gush about that, you can come on over to the stream. But I actually spawned right around over here by these rocks. And my initial plan was to have some sort of cutout into a cave. I don't typically like doing the cave stuff. I think I'll have some underground stuff, but I don't want my full base to be underground. I'm not great with interiors, but I'm also not great with keeping up with them. If they are underground, I kind of leave things to the side. And so I want, you know, more of an excuse to build the exteriors that I know and get better at that, but then also fill those with interiors rather than just working on one and just giving it, you know, a simple pattern and all that. But so you can see we're coming over to another village over here, which is the first village that I saw when I first started this world. And you can see all these snow-capped mountains and things. Very fun, very interesting seed. I just love all the mountains around. Makes it feel very dynamic and very interesting. This has a bit more easy terrain to work with. It's got kind of laid out a bit better, a little overgrown, but that's okay. But this seems like a much more social village, whereas the one in the Cherry Grove over there, they seem kind of more to themselves, whereas this one definitely seems more of like a community. Like they'll trade and such, whereas the other ones are a bit distracted with their conflict with the pillagers and other things like that. Things that we can make up to keep us coming to this world. And I think it's somewhere around... Oh, look at that. I think it's somewhere over this way where there's another abandoned village. Every village I've found, which is just the two villages, have each come with a nearby abandoned village. And I wish that was more the case, where if you were to find an abandoned village, it would be within a certain range of other villages. And it might be that way. I might just not know how they spawn, but it's just another case of what story can I tell with this other abandoned village and why they move over. Here we go. And this one, you can kind of tell why it might be abandoned, you know. Don't really have like a port exit. It kind of closed in here. All around them is just looks difficult terrain. We can touch up a lot of this stuff, but a lot of it we can honestly leave. We can make these like the flatbeds or those terraces, you get a lot of these sort of separations and reasons why they're abandoned. I mean, they're right by this massive cave opening, so maybe we could do something with that. I want to have a world where I can just have a whole story being told on it. I haven't explored this way at all, really, so I'm curious about what's out here. But I guess my main goal for this world, you know, I'm not looking to be like overpowered. I'm not looking to rush through, because I don't even know if I'll make a simple iron farm. It'd be nice, but part of the interest is going out and exploring and mining your own stuff and being in that gameplay loop of you run out, you have to go collect, and you find some things that you haven't seen before. And I think that's why I've burned out of worlds in the past, is I haven't had that gameplay loop. I've had everything automatic, everything done for me. I think a good example of a good semi-automatic farm that I would include in this world is like an Enderman farm, because you're still killing them. You're still involved in the process. It's not like they're just falling in. You know, some of the gold farms, some of them, they just fall and you get the XP. But then there are other gold farms where you can be more involved in the process. And I think that's more of what I want, is just a more involved world in general. Don't want it to be everything is automatic, so I'm doing more. I talked about this on stream as well, where eventually it just becomes like something that you just have in the background so you can have more stuff. You're not working for anything, you're not doing much. You're just kind of going around to different spots in your world that you haven't really built up, because you keep saying, oh, I need this thing, or I need an abundance of this thing to really, you know, make this world what I want it to be. And then you're just sitting and waiting to get that abundance of things. Then you burn out. I think that's why a lot of people burn out, is they make all these plans and they think, oh, I'm going to make some extravagant thing, but then they go get Elytra, defeat the dragon, get full diamond, netherite, what have you, within the first 12 hours of playing the game. And then it just feels like there's no loop, there's no challenge, they don't want to spend time doing anything. They don't feel like when they stay out at night there's any sort of risk. I feel like they're not playing the game. I think that's a lot of what it becomes, is they're not playing the game. They're sitting at a farm on their phone for, you know, an hour until they have all this other stuff, and they're like, oh, well, I want all this food as well as all this XP, so they go sit at another farm. There's no involvement. They're not actually playing the game, which is why I think the burnout happens so roughly, especially with Minecraft. But my main goal for this world is build a world that I want to keep coming back to, that I keep having stories to tell. I can already tell, like, once I get all these villages done, like I might be out of ideas at that point, and then I need to go find something else to do. Maybe I build up the pillagers a bit more. Maybe they've gotten a bit better, more involved. But that's also why I don't want to do this in hardcore. I think a lot of people will also try to build up these kinds of worlds in hardcore, but I'm not that great of a player. I think I want to do a hardcore series just to see how it goes, and I know for sure there will be multiple worlds because I just don't pay attention that well. Minecraft is a relaxing game for me, and making it a little bit more stressful might be a little fun for a period of time, but I don't want this world to be a world that ends at all. I want this world to be a world that I keep coming back to, even if it, you know, if I take a couple months of a break from it to make other content or what have you, or if I'm just not feeling it. But ultimately, I want this to be the world that gets built up over time, and I want to keep having these updates to keep showing you. So I want to have these ideas and kind of these implants of potential lore, just kind of have a record of just hanging out. Oh my god, there's so many of these guys. But I want to have this record of this world, and also a reason to keep at it. Because I know if I do the updates long enough, then people are going to be coming in asking where the next update is, and that'll give me more reasons, seeing, you know, other people. So please bug me about where the next update is, and I'm going to try to be streaming a lot more often. So if you want to come by the stream, definitely see where the progress is at and see how up to date my most recent update video is. I'm going to try to, I don't know when the next update video will be, but maybe it'll be where we're at 100 days. I think that should be 20 hours into this world, or 20 more hours, I should say. And so we'll see how we're doing with that. But if you did make it this far, thank you very much. I would love any lore suggestions because I'm not really a lore builder writer, so that'd be very fun to kind of craft this world with you guys, especially if you hop in the stream. We can definitely work on things there. Maybe we have houses in the villages that belong to viewers. That'd be very cool. Thank you so much for watching. If you did watch it all the way through, give me some ideas. Hop by the stream for sure. And I hope you're as excited as I am to see how this world evolved. Come watch me over on Twitch, SethP_11. Just click the link below. Thank you.